you are being destroyed right now. And you don't even realize it. Every morning, you wake up believing you're living by principles that make you a good person. Kindness, honesty, fairness. You've been told these are virtues. You've been lied to. What if the very things you believe make you good are the chains keeping you weak? Let me tell you about Thomas More, Henry VIII's most trusted advisor, a man of unwavering integrity. When the king demanded he approve his divorce, More refused. He chose honesty over survival, principle over power. The king had him beheaded. More died believing he was righteous. History remembers him as a saint. But here's what they don't teach you. While More was losing his head for his honesty, other advisors who bent with the wind lived to serve another day. They survived, they thrived, they shaped the future. More's integrity, it became his executioner's axe. You are Thomas More. Every single day, you work hard, believing effort equals reward. You play fair, thinking the universe keeps score. You tell the truth, assuming it builds trust. And meanwhile, the ruthless keep winning. Your coworker who takes credit for your ideas gets the promotion. The friend who lies effortlessly gets the girl. The politician who promises everything delivers nothing and wins again. You watch this happen. You feel the injustice burn in your chest. And you tell yourself the same lie Thomas More told himself. At least I have my integrity. Your integrity is not protecting you. It's marking you for slaughter. Right now, in this moment, you are being systematically outmaneuvered by people who understand what you refuse to see. The game isn't rigged against good people. Good people just don't know they're playing a game. While you're following rules that exist only in your head, others are rewriting reality around you. They smile at your honesty because it makes you predictable. They exploit your kindness because it makes you controllable. They let you wait for fairness because it keeps you paralyzed. You are prey, and you volunteered for the position. 500 years ago, a man named Niccolo Machiavelli watched this same dance of destruction. He saw good men crushed by their goodness, noble leaders devoured by their nobility. He wrote The Prince not to teach cruelty, but to expose the cruel truth about power. Machiavelli's warning was simple. The world rewards strength, not sacrifice. Strategy, not sincerity. Fear, not love. His book wasn't just about ruling kingdoms. It was about surviving in a world where predators disguise themselves as friends, where weakness is punished with extinction, where your virtues become their weapons. Today, we're going to dissect the 3 fatal flaws that turn good people into casualties. The 3 weaknesses that Machiavelli identified centuries ago and that are destroying you right now. The need to be liked, honesty without strategy, waiting for fairness. These aren't just personality traits. They're systematic vulnerabilities. They're why you keep losing to people you know you're better than. They're why your goodness feels like a curse instead of a blessing. But here's what Machiavelli really understood. These weaknesses can be transformed into weapons. Your empathy can become manipulation. Your honesty can become misdirection. Your sense of justice can become strategic striking. The choice is yours. Remain prey or become predator. Before we begin this surgical examination of your soul, write in the comments, I refuse to be prey. Let's see how many of you are ready to face what you've been avoiding. Let's see who's tired of being good and ready to be powerful. Because after today, you'll never look at kindness, truth, or fairness the same way again. You'll see them for what they really are, tools. And tools can be used to build or to destroy. The question is, will you keep letting them destroy you? Welcome to Psychra. The first weakness that ruins people is the most seductive. It feels like virtue. It masquerades as love. The need to be liked. You think kindness earns loyalty. It doesn't. It earns exploitation. Right now, you're nodding along, thinking this doesn't apply to you. You're not desperate for approval. You're just nice. Considerate, a good person. That's exactly what they want you to believe. Let me show you the trap. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you're not being kind. You're being weak. Every time you apologize for taking up space, you're not being humble. You're being prey. Every time you prioritize their comfort over your boundaries, you're not being generous. You're being devoured. The psychology behind this weakness runs deeper than you think. It starts in childhood, when love felt conditional, when approval meant survival, when being good meant being safe. Your parents rewarded compliance. Teachers praised the quiet ones. Society celebrated the selfless. You learned that love was earned through sacrifice, that acceptance came through agreement, that belonging required becoming whatever others needed you to be. So you became a chameleon, shape-shifting to fit every expectation, swallowing your needs to feed theirs, believing that if you just gave enough, loved enough, sacrificed enough, they would finally see your worth. They see it. They just don't respect it. Look at the nice guy. He opens doors, pays for everything, agrees with every opinion. He thinks he's earning love through service. Instead, he's earning contempt through predictability. Women don't want a servant. They want a man who knows his own value. But he's too busy trying to prove his worth to actually possess any. Or the employee who never says no, who works weekends, skips lunch, takes on everyone else's failures. They think they're demonstrating dedication. Instead, they're demonstrating that their time has no value, their boundaries don't exist, and their presence can be taken for granted. These people aren't being appreciated. They're being harvested. The more you seek approval, the weaker you become. Predators sense it like blood in the water. Here's what you don't understand. Respect and love are not the same thing. You can be loved and still be powerless. You can be appreciated and still be exploited. You can be everyone's favorite person and still be nobody's priority. History is littered with leaders who learned this lesson too late. Take Louis XVI of France, a king who wanted to be loved by his people. He lowered taxes, avoided harsh decisions, tried to be the benevolent ruler everyone could admire. His subjects loved him, right up until they cut off his head. Meanwhile, his wife Marie Antoinette, cold, distant, unapologetic about her desires, was feared. And fear, unlike love, commands respect. Fear creates distance. Distance creates mystery. Mystery creates power. Louis wanted to be loved. Marie demanded to be feared. Guess which one the people talked about for centuries after their deaths? The revolutionaries who executed them understood something Louis never did. Power comes from being essential, not likable. From being respected, not loved. From being irreplaceable, not agreeable. But you're still trying to earn love through sacrifice. Still believing that if you just give more, compromise more, accommodate more, they'll finally see how valuable you are. They already see it. That's why they keep taking. The antidote to this weakness isn't cruelty. It's clarity. Control perception. Be feared when necessary. Not for cruelty, but for unshakable boundaries. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Not because fear is inherently superior to love, but because fear is honest about power dynamics. Fear respects boundaries. Love without respect becomes consumption. This is where selective generosity becomes your weapon. Reward loyalty fiercely, punish betrayal swiftly. Make your kindness conditional on their respect. Give your energy only to those who value it. Withdraw it immediately from those who abuse it. When someone takes advantage of your kindness, don't get angry. Get strategic. Don't explain yourself. Don't justify your boundaries. Don't apologize for having standards. Simply withdraw your availability. Make them earn back what they lost. Watch how quickly their behavior changes when your approval is no longer guaranteed. The people who truly matter will respect your boundaries. The people who don't were never worth your energy anyway. You've been taught that setting boundaries is selfish. It's not. It's essential. You've been told that saying no makes you difficult. It doesn't. It makes you valuable. You've been convinced that self-respect is arrogance. It's not. It's survival. Stop trying to be loved by everyone. Start demanding to be respected by the people who matter. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know. The moment you stop needing their approval is the moment you start getting their attention. The moment you stop chasing their love is the moment you start commanding their respect. The need to be liked has been your prison. Make it their problem. But what's even more dangerous than needing approval? The next weakness, honesty without strategy, will show you why your truth is being used against you, and why the most honest people are often the most powerless. The second weakness is the most noble, the most righteous, the most deadly. Honesty without strategy. You confess, you keep it real, thinking this is integrity. It's naivety. You've been programmed to believe that truth is virtue, that transparency builds trust, that authenticity creates connection. You've been programmed by people who profit from your openness. Every secret you reveal is a weapon you hand to your enemies. Every vulnerability you share is a target you paint on your back. Every truth you tell is information they can use against you. But you keep talking. Keep confessing. Keep bleeding your secrets into the world because you think it makes you real. It makes you dead. The psychological trap runs deeper than you realize. You crave validation through authenticity. You want to be seen, understood, accepted for who you really are. So you strip away the masks, expose the wounds, share the struggles, believing that raw honesty will finally earn you the genuine connection you desperately need. Instead, you've just shown them exactly where to aim the knife. Look at social media. You post your insecurities, hoping for support. You share your struggles, seeking validation. You document your failures, expecting sympathy. What you get is data, information, ammunition. That post about your anxiety, future employers will see it. That rant about your relationship, your partner's friends will screenshot it. That confession about your past mistakes. Someone will remember it when they need leverage. You thought you were being brave. You were being foolish. Or watch what happens in the workplace when they preach vulnerability and authentic leadership. They want you to share your fears in team meetings. Admit your weaknesses in performance reviews. Be real about your struggles. The employees who follow this advice get passed over. The ones who stay strategically silent get promoted. Because while you're confessing your limitations, your competitors are studying your admissions. While you're being authentic, they're being strategic. While you're sharing your truth, they're crafting their advantage. Your truths become weapons. The world exploits transparency. Let me tell you about Aldrich Ames, a CIA agent who became one of the most damaging spies in American history. But his downfall wasn't sophisticated tradecraft or complex operations. It was simple. He talked too much. Ames couldn't help himself. At parties, he'd hint at his secret life. With colleagues, he'd drop classified details to seem important. With strangers, he'd share just enough to feel powerful. He thought his honesty made him interesting. It made him traceable. The FBI didn't catch him through surveillance or code breaking. They caught him because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Every conversation was a confession. Every social interaction was an intelligence leak. His need to be seen as significant led to his capture. Ames spent over 20 years in prison because he valued being heard over staying hidden. Or consider Gerald Ratner, the British jewelry tycoon who destroyed his empire with one honest statement. At a business conference in 1991, he was asked about his company's low prices. Instead of deflecting or spinning, he told the truth. He said his products were total crap and that some items were cheaper than a prawn sandwich but probably wouldn't last as long. The audience laughed. The media reported it. His customers stopped buying. His company lost £500 million in value almost overnight. Ratner went from billionaire to bankruptcy because he chose honesty over strategy. One moment of unfiltered truth cost him everything. You do this every day on a smaller scale. You tell your boss about your job interviews. You confess your doubts to your competitors. You share your plans with people who smile while they sabotage. You think honesty builds trust. It builds targets. The antidote isn't lying. It's misdirection. Let others reveal themselves first. Machiavelli mastered this art. He understood that information is power, and power shared is power lost. He practiced calculated silence, strategic ambiguity, purposeful mystery. When someone asks you a direct question, answer with a question. When they want your opinion, ask for theirs first. When they probe for weakness, redirect to their strengths. Make them talk while you listen. Make them reveal while you conceal. This isn't deception, it's protection. Listen more than you speak. Observe more than you reveal. Learn their secrets while guarding your own. Let them fill the silence with their confessions while you build your understanding of their vulnerabilities. In negotiations, the person who speaks first loses. In relationships, the person who needs more reveals more. In warfare, the person who shows their position gets targeted. You've been showing your position your entire life. Stop telling people your plans. They'll find ways to disrupt them. Stop confessing your fears. They'll use them to control you. Stop sharing your dreams. They'll either steal them or convince you they're impossible. Your truth is currency. Stop spending it on people who don't deserve it. When someone says, just be yourself, ask yourself, which self? The strategic self that protects your interests? Or the naive self that hands ammunition to enemies? When they demand authenticity, remember, authentic doesn't mean unfiltered. Real doesn't mean reckless. Honest doesn't mean helpless. You can be genuine without being exposed. You can be truthful without being transparent. You can be authentic without being foolish. The strongest people you know aren't the most honest. They're the most selective about their honesty. They save their truth for those who've earned it. They share their struggles with those who've proven trustworthy. They confess their fears only to those who've demonstrated loyalty. Everyone else gets carefully crafted versions of reality. This isn't cynicism, it's survival. This isn't manipulation, it's intelligence. This isn't fake, it's strategic. Your enemies are counting on your honesty. Your competitors are banking on your transparency. Your predators are feeding on your authenticity. Stop feeding them. If you've ever regretted being too honest, smash the like button. Let's see how many have learned this lesson the hard way. Because silence isn't emptiness, it's power. Mystery isn't deception, it's protection. And keeping your mouth shut isn't weakness, it's wisdom. But even strategic silence won't save you from the third weakness, the one that keeps you paralyzed while others take action. The belief that's destroying your future while you wait for justice that will never come. The third weakness is the most tragic, the most hopeful, the most fatal. Waiting for fairness. You expect life to reward good deeds. The universe doesn't care. You've been sold the greatest lie ever told, that morality equals success, that good people finish first, that karma keeps score, that justice is inevitable. You're waiting for a referee in a game with no rules. Every day, you watch less qualified people get promoted while you stay overlooked. You see liars prosper while truth-tellers struggle. You witness cheaters win while honest players lose. And you tell yourself the same comforting delusion. It will all balance out in the end. It won't. The psychological trap that destroys you is called the just world fallacy. The desperate need to believe that the world is fundamentally fair, that good things happen to good people, that bad people eventually get punished, that suffering serves a purpose and virtue gets rewarded. This belief isn't wisdom, it's weakness. It's not faith, it's fantasy. You cling to this illusion because the alternative is too terrifying to accept. That life is random, that injustice is permanent, that good people suffer for no reason while evil people prosper without consequence. So you keep playing by rules that don't exist. Keep expecting rewards that won't come. Keep waiting for fairness that died before you were born. Look around your workplace. The person who got the promotion wasn't the hardest worker. They were the best politician. They didn't earn it through merit. They earned it through maneuvering. While you were perfecting your craft, they were perfecting their connections. You put in overtime. They put in face time. You focused on competence. They focused on perception. You believed in meritocracy. They understood that success is a social game, not a skill competition. Now they're your boss. And you're wondering why fairness failed you. It didn't fail you. It never existed. Or watch what happens in relationships. The person who gets the girl isn't the nicest guy, it's the most confident one. The person who keeps the relationship isn't the most loyal, it's the most interesting. The person who controls the dynamic isn't the most giving, it's the most selective. You thought love was about deserving. It's about commanding. While you wait, predators take what's yours. Let me tell you about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, two partners who built Apple together. Wozniak was the genius, the technical wizard who created the revolutionary technology. Jobs was the strategist, the master manipulator who understood power. When they formed the company, Wozniak believed in fair partnership, equal shares, honest collaboration. He trusted that merit would determine success, that contribution would equal compensation. Jobs understood that fairness is a luxury successful people can't afford. While Wozniak was focused on perfecting the product, Jobs was focused on controlling the narrative. While Wozniak was building technology, Jobs was building leverage. While Wozniak was waiting for recognition, Jobs was seizing power. The result? Jobs became the face of Apple, the visionary, the legend. Wozniak became a footnote, the engineer who did the work while someone else took the credit. Wozniak believed in fairness. Jobs believed in winning. Guess who won? But the tragedy goes deeper. Wozniak later admitted that he gave away most of his early Apple stock to other employees because he thought it was fair. He wanted everyone to share in the success equally. Jobs kept his shares, built his empire, became a billionaire. Wozniak's generosity cost him billions. His belief in fairness made him rich in karma and poor in everything else. You are Wozniak. Every single day, you share credit when you should claim it. You wait for recognition when you should demand it. You trust the system when you should manipulate it. You play fair when you should play to win. And while you're waiting for the world to notice your virtue, others are claiming your victories. The antidote to this weakness isn't becoming evil, it's becoming strategic. Preemption. Strike first or be struck. Machiavelli understood that in a world without referees, the only rule is survival. The only justice is victory. The only fairness is what you can take and keep. This doesn't mean becoming cruel. It means becoming decisive. It means acting before others act against you. It means taking what you deserve instead of waiting for it to be given. Strategic aggression isn't about hurting people. It's about helping yourself. It's not about being unfair. It's about refusing to be the only one playing fair in an unfair game. When you see an opportunity, take it. Don't wait for permission. Don't check if others deserve it more. Don't wonder if it's your turn. If you can see it, it's yours to seize. When someone threatens your position, neutralize them. Not with cruelty, but with competence. Not with malice, but with strategy. Make yourself indispensable while making them irrelevant. When you have an advantage, press it. Don't apologize for your success. Don't downplay your achievements. Don't share your strategies with competitors who are studying your methods. The people who succeed aren't waiting for the world to be fair. They're making it fair by taking what's theirs. You've been taught that patience is virtue. It's not, it's paralysis. You've been told that your time will come. It won't, unless you make it come. You've been convinced that good things come to those who wait. They don't. They come to those who act. Stop waiting for fairness. Start creating your own justice. Stop expecting the universe to balance the scales. Start putting your thumb on them. Stop believing that merit will be rewarded. Start making sure it's impossible to ignore. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you can take what you deserve. The game isn't rigged against you. You just haven't learned the real rules yet. The real rules are simple. Power goes to those who seize it. Success goes to those who demand it. Fairness goes to those who create it. Everyone else gets whatever's left. You've been waiting for justice. Justice has been waiting for you to stop waiting. These weaknesses aren't ancient history. They're algorithms. Next, you'll see how they're weaponized against you every day. How the systems you trust are designed to exploit the very virtues you've been taught to cherish. These three weaknesses haven't disappeared with time. They've been weaponized by technology. What Machiavelli observed in Renaissance courts now operates through apps on your phone. What destroyed kings and princes now destroys ordinary people through carefully designed systems that exploit your psychology. You're not just battling personal flaws anymore. You're fighting algorithms programmed to amplify your weaknesses for profit. The invisible war is being fought on 3 fronts: social media, your workplace, and your relationships. And you're losing on all of them. Social media, the approval addiction machine. Every social platform is designed to exploit your need to be liked. Likes are dopamine traps, making you needy, visible, and controllable. You post a photo. You wait for validation. The notifications become your drug. The absence of likes becomes your punishment. You start crafting your life around what generates approval instead of what generates fulfillment. Instagram doesn't want you to be confident. Confident people don't post as much. Facebook doesn't want you to be satisfied. Satisfied people don't scroll as much. TikTok doesn't want you to be self-aware. Self-aware people don't dance for strangers. They want you desperate, seeking, performing, always hungry for the next hit of digital approval. Watch what happens when you post something authentic versus something calculated. The authentic post gets ignored. The calculated one gets engagement. The algorithm teaches you to be fake by rewarding performance over truth. You think you're sharing your life. You're selling your dignity for metrics that mean nothing to anyone except the platforms profiting from your desperation. Meanwhile, the people gaining real power are the ones who understand the game. They post strategically, not emotionally. They build personal brands, not personal diaries. They use social media as a tool instead of letting it use them as content. They're not seeking likes. They're generating influence. They're not sharing everything. They're controlling the narrative. They're not being authentic. They're being strategic. The workplace. Professional predation. Your workplace has become a psychological battlefield where your weaknesses are harvested by HR departments and exploited by colleagues who understand the game better than you do. HR preaches authenticity, so you confess insecurities. Then they promote the silent climbers. They tell you to share your struggles in team meetings. Be vulnerable about your challenges. Open up about your fears. They call it psychological safety and authentic leadership. What they're really doing is collecting intelligence. Every weakness you confess becomes data in your file. Every insecurity you reveal becomes ammunition for your competitors. Every authentic moment becomes evidence of your unsuitability for advancement. While you're sharing your journey, others are studying your admissions. While you're being real, they're being calculated. While you're building connections through vulnerability, they're building advantages through your transparency. The promotion goes to the person who never revealed their doubts, never confessed their struggles, never admitted their fears. The person who smiled during your vulnerability sessions while mentally cataloging your weaknesses. You thought honesty would build trust with leadership. It built a case against your promotion, and when you don't get ahead, they tell you to wait your turn. Be patient. Trust the process. Stay fair and professional while they reward the people who played politics, managed perceptions, and struck preemptively. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed, to keep the naive believing in merit while the strategic inherit power. Dating. The nice guy. Massacre. In relationships, these weaknesses create a massacre of good intentions. The nice guy finishes last because desire follows power, not pleading. You think being kind, honest, and fair will attract love. Instead, it attracts users, manipulators, and people who see your goodness as weakness to exploit. You pay for everything, thinking generosity shows your value. It shows your desperation. You agree with everything, thinking compatibility creates connection. It creates boredom. You confess your feelings, thinking honesty builds intimacy. It destroys mystery. Meanwhile, the people who generate genuine attraction understand the psychological dynamics you refuse to see. They maintain mystery instead of revealing everything. They create desire through scarcity instead of availability. They inspire pursuit through challenge instead of accommodation. They don't need to be liked. They demand to be respected. They don't confess everything. They maintain strategic distance. They don't wait for fairness. They create the dynamics they want. You thought love rewarded virtue. Love rewards power. Attraction follows strength. Desire chases what retreats and flees from what pursues. The dating apps amplify this dynamic by turning relationships into a marketplace where attention is currency and options are infinite. Your authenticity becomes background noise in a world of carefully curated profiles. Your honesty becomes TMI in a culture of strategic presentation. Your fairness becomes disadvantage in a game where others are playing by different rules. The systematic exploitation. These aren't separate issues. They're connected systems designed to extract value from your psychological vulnerabilities. Social media companies profit from your need for approval. Corporations profit from your workplace honesty. Dating apps profit from your romantic desperation. They've turned your weaknesses into their business models. The algorithms don't want you to be strong, silent, or strategic. They want you weak, talkative, and trusting. They want you posting, confessing, and waiting. Because strong people don't generate data. Silent people don't create content. Strategic people can't be controlled. You're not just battling personal psychology anymore. You're fighting systems designed by people who studied Machiavelli, implemented by people who understand manipulation, and operated by algorithms that exploit human weakness for profit. The war isn't coming. It's here. It's invisible. And it's winning. Unless you understand what you're really fighting against. You were taught these were virtues. Machiavelli knew they were vulnerabilities. 500 years ago, he watched good people destroyed by their goodness. Noble leaders devoured by their nobility. Honest men betrayed by their honesty. Nothing has changed except the weapons. The need to be liked still marks you as prey. Honesty without strategy still hands ammunition to enemies. Waiting for fairness still paralyzes you while predators strike. The only difference is now these weaknesses are being systematically harvested by algorithms designed to profit from your psychology. You thought you were living by principles. You were living by programming. Every virtue you were taught serves someone else's interests. Every moral lesson you learned keeps you controllable. Every good trait you possess makes you predictable to people who study human weakness for profit. The teachers who told you to be kind were creating servants. The parents who told you to be honest were creating victims. The society that told you to be fair was creating prey. They knew what Machiavelli knew, that good people are easy to control because they control themselves. But now you know too. The game doesn't change. The players just get smarter. Will you? You have a choice. You can continue believing that your virtues will be rewarded, your honesty will be respected, your fairness will be reciprocated. You can keep waiting for a world that will never come, or you can accept the world as it is and learn to win within it. This isn't about becoming evil. It's about becoming effective. It's not about hurting others. It's about protecting yourself. It's not about abandoning your values. It's about making them strategic. Your kindness becomes selective. Your honesty becomes tactical. Your sense of justice becomes proactive. You stop being prey and start being predator. The people who shaped the world understood this. The ones who built empires, created fortunes, and commanded respect didn't do it by being nice. They did it by being necessary. They weren't loved by everyone. They were respected by the people who mattered. They weren't honest about everything. They were truthful when it served their purposes. They didn't wait for fairness. They created their own justice. And now it's your turn. If this got you thinking, subscribe. Because next week, we're breaking down the 3 subtle habits that put people ahead and how to make them yours. Comment level up if you're ready to play the game smarter. Share this with someone who'd love a shortcut. Growth feels awkward at first, but stagnation, that's the real discomfort. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time, right now. Now ask yourself, how many of these weaknesses are still living inside you?